tubies and tubettes, and welcome back to Retrospect. Spexxy here, and today I have something to show you. I decided I wanted to make something a little bit different, not like me of course, and something I decided I'd do is try and make a toy. And now when I thought of toys, I thought of wind-up. So here I am actually in my little flying version of my bumper car. This is not what I'm here to show you, but Brent Batch helped me glitch weld some bits in this so it does now fly. I will put this on the workshop if you are interested, but you just press the 1 key and you will take off and then you can fly it around. What I have to show you is down there, so let's just switch it off with the 1 key. We'll land this thing down here. There we go. Oh, jump out. And then let me show you. So what I said then, I was trying to make a wind-up toy. Now, I needed a wind-up mechanism. And what I came up with was this. Now, I'll briefly explain how this works. Let me just ditch all these things from here. Yeah, I'm going to briefly explain how this thing works. So, here we have a set of timers, a couple of controllers, one logic gate, and a few bearings and a wheel and a button. So basically what this does, if you get out the connection tool, you will see this button goes to the first timer, and it also goes to this controller here, which goes to this bearing here. So when you press the button, it starts a timer, it controls that, which then turns this round that way. It's like the Clockwork winder. Then the timer then goes across to the next timer, as you can see, which goes across to the next timer and the next one and the next one in a series, and they all follow in line. Now each of these then goes to the logic gate, which is set to OR, which is active if any of the link triggers are active. So each time one of these reaches the top, it activates that, which then activates this controller, which then activates the wheel. Let's demonstrate to show you what I mean. So you fill up the first one. There we go. Let's just see how it goes. And when it fills up, suddenly that activates. This starts going the other way, like it's unwinding. And each of these works in sequence. Now you see that wheel is going round based on the timer. So we didn't wind it up for long. We're getting much more out of it than what we put in. And this is how I'm working out my wind-up mechanism. So that's it. That is how it works. That is a wind-up mechanism. Now, of course, we're going to make a wind-up toy, and in this video I've made no wind-up cars. They would have been the easiest thing to do, but I decided to make walkers, at least for now. I may make a car if that's what you want to see, but for now I have made walkers. Now, the walking mechanism I came up with was this little thing here. Very simple, just two bearings, one going one way, one going the other, and these feet on the bottom. Now, the simple mechanism for the wind-up is still in there at the back, and that works exactly the same as I've shown it on there, only the button is on the side. Now if I press this button, it will do exactly the same, but I can also do it from up here. So let's get up here for a second and zoom out. So if I press the 1 key, it will wind up, and then when it reaches its full capacity, which is now, it starts walking. Now this is slow and steady. I didn't go for anything fast with the walking motion. It is slow and steady, but I quite like it. Of course, in this build there is no stabilisation, and as you can see, the floor will send it all over the place, and it will fall over just like a, there you go, as if by magic, just like a normal wind-up toy would on a table or an uneven surface, and that's kind of what I wanted. Now, obviously if you were driving this around, that wouldn't be much good, so it needed stabilisation, but it also needed a steering mechanism, and I then came up with, there are we, this one here. Now this one has got the stabilisation. This is what I'm calling the wind-up mech wide, and this is because it is very wide. Now the reason it is wide is because each of these has two sets of bearings. One of them is to be controlled by the logic gate at the end of the sensors, and the other one is to be controlled by a driving seat if you were to put one on. And that means you can have control over it yourself, and you can also have control over it by winding it up and letting it go. Now this one hasn't got a seat, but I'll put one on and demonstrate. Let's just get a driving seat out of here, and I will put it on, let's just see, put it on just here for argument's sake. Okay, now we want to connect this, and this mech has been included with a glitch steering, and that's there for you to enable steering with the seat. So if I connect that to that, I should be able to. Yep, there we go. I should be able to steer it. Now also, if I connect that one up to this one over here, that should now enable me to, plod. Ooh, ooh, but it is very unstable, as you see. So let's pick that up again. Plop it down. There we go. And on the back here is this RAR unit. I'll switch that on and I'll try that again. So now with the RAR unit on, there you go. Now this is the wide version. Now his legs are going very fast. I can turn those down. And to do that, I just need to turn the rotation down in the controller. So let's have a look at the controller for that one, which is this one. They're all set to 360, but it's set on fast. If I set that to, I can set these down. I don't need to go on 360. Let's set them down to 165, let's say. Now it's going to be considerably slower. They all must be the same because they rotate backwards and forwards. So this is for the seat. So, oh, he's going on his own. Whoa, whoa, what are you doing? Okay, let's get him on a lift and drop him back again because that was a little bit of an undesired effect. Okay, let's have a look. So, yeah, he's much slower. If I'm going to press 2 to put the... I've not connected it to the seat. Hold on a second. Connect that through 1 and connect that through 2. I should now be able to wind it up. And also, I'm able to connect the RAR unit. So there you go. Switch the RAR unit on. I can steer it. And slow and steady, it will plod and I can control it. Now, this is the mech. I will put this on the workshop as well in case anybody wants to use it or build their own wind-up mechanism. So there you go, that works. As you see, originally it was faster, but I can turn that speed down as I demonstrated. Now what I will do in just a second, let me put this down. Okay, that's interesting. Why is one of his legs up every time? I don't know. Something doesn't seem right there, but no, that's okay. That's all okay. Okay, we're going to try it anyway then. So the wind-up mechanism is set for 360 still. So that was going to be faster, but we're going to try it with the faster motion. Now it's going to go a little bit crazy, but let's just try it. So we'll wind it up again, and as you see, I won't do it fully this time. So just do it kind of in spurts. So there he goes, off he goes, and then when it reaches the top, it will go off again, and it will start again in a second. You need to hold the button down for the full filling of the first timer if you want it to run continuously. If you leave a gap, you'll have a gap every time the timer runs out, and it will continue to do that until it reaches the end one. So there you go. That is how it works for the wind-up mechanism with feet. Now this was very wide, and a little bit too wide for the builds I wanted to build, so I wanted to make this thinner. So let me just delete this and I'll show you what I then came up with. So my next phase was this, and this is just the wind-up mech I'm calling this, and it looks a little bit odd, and that is because each of these has 2 sets of bearings again, one for the seat and one for the timer or the logic gate, but this time I wanted it to be narrower, so I needed it to start beyond the center point, which means it's now not sticking out by one more each side. And that makes a much narrower build. It looks a little bit odd, but it does work, trust me. So let's switch that on, press the button. The same principle will work, and it should. Let's just see. There he goes, and ease off. So the same principle, only now it's in sort of this weird configuration in order to let me get it past the center point. Looks a bit awkward, but it definitely works. Let that wander off on its own. Now, when I got that mechanism there, I thought this is getting closer to the toys that we all know, the little walking toys with the feet, with these little bars on and that climb over each other. Now, then I made this. This is the first one I did. Now, this is a wind-up toy. It has got a seat inside and it has got a RAR unit, but it's also got the wind-up on the side. Now, with this version, you can't just drive it because it hasn't got 2 sets of bearings. This was before I actually came up with the idea of 2 sets of bearings, and I haven't modified this. So it's only got 1 set per leg, which means it only works with the wind-up. It doesn't work if I get in the seat and try and walk. I can't. It will not work. So it only works as a wind-up. Now, I can wind it up from in the seat by pressing 2. So I can do that. Press the 2 key, and then when it goes, and here he goes. Oh, he's wobbly because I haven't turned the RAR unit on. And that's again much like the actual toys. They will fall over. There he goes. And this is of course a Domo, which I quite like the character, and I thought he'd make a nice wind-up toy. So let's do it again, but this time we'll turn on the raw unit. So raw unit is set for 3. Let's jump in 1, 3 and 2. And we wind him up, and this time he should be a lot more stable. So let's get him going. There he is. And this time he won't fall over quite so easy. And yeah, there he is. Quite a cute little, I'm calling this the Hug Me Domo because he looks like he's looking for a hug. Little arms going up and down. Sensors for eyes. Little screw tops for teeth. I think it works pretty well. And yeah, again, this is going to be on the workshop. But I didn't stop there because I thought this is a crazy little mechanism. I can put this in a lot more toys and I can make a multitude of different versions of the wind-up toy. So my next step was this. Now this of course is Link, but my first version of making him I made a face that looked like this, and I thought it looked a little bit derpy, and I then decided to make it into a separate character altogether. So I coloured it in a different colour, gave him stripy socks, put some ducks on him, why not, and a wooden sword, and this is Dink. So we've got Link and we've got Dink. Now Link comes equipped with the Master Sword there, and he also has the shield with the Triforce symbol on the side. It works the same way as the others. I'll jump in one, I don't need to demonstrate both, but let's jump in one and show you what I mean. So you get in through the back, it's exactly the same with Dink, and you can shut it again, and you can press the 3 key to turn on the anti-tip, the raw unit, and then steering again is with the A and D key, and you can press forward, and this one has 2 sets of bearings unlike the Domo, so you can walk this one. So there he is, there's Link. Not the fastest stride in the world, and you might notice that the big one, the wide one I brought in at the start, my mechanism, can actually step much bigger than this, but again it doesn't fit inside these size bodies, and I didn't want to make a huge body for them to go in, so this is what I ended up with. I think it kind of looks like a little wind-up toy that you might purchase from a little toy store, and then the ones that run along your table, they often fall over. They've got these diddy little feet, and the motion is there. I think it looks pretty authentic. So there we are. We have our Link and our Dink and our Domo, but of course, why would I stop there? So over this hill are 3 more characters. Now you can see the head of one, and so you may guess already what it is. As I come up here, you will spot, of course, Yoshi. We also have a Mario, and we have a Wario. These all work in the same fashion. Again, all of these will be on the workshop. I can set him going just to show you what I mean. So they all work on the wind-up on the side. I don't think he has got his raw unit on. He might have. We'll soon find out. No, he hasn't. Sorry, Yoshi. Off you go. Have fun. Now, Mario I think did have. We'll set him going as well. And I'm going to get in Wario and have a little ride. So let's set Mario going. Has he got his raw unit on? And yes, he has, because he would be falling over by now if he hadn't. So they don't handle hills brilliantly. They do lean a little. Sometimes even go over. Like you can't get up there very easy because it's not the strongest. I would put thrusters in him. He might be able to do it. He's still going over even with a raw unit. But yeah, it kind of works. Oh, yeah, he's gone. So Wario then. This is the last one of these 3. Let's jump in the back of this. Shut that one up. And again, has he got his raw unit on? I think he has. Now he's got the pointy up feet, like the little pointy shoes that Wario wears, and the little spiky moustache and the big purpley nose. The pointy ears. He is Wario. Now, of course, if you'd like to see me do any other wind-up toys, any other characters or designs, I will give it a go for you if you would like. And also, if you also would like me to do, I will send a blank version of this, or more like a square head, square body with the mechanism all inside, for you to make your own customized versions if you like. And when I do that, I'd like to see what you come up with. So if you do come up with some really fancy designs and send them to me, I'll be glad to show them in a future video. So that's the idea. I will put a blank one up. Maybe not straight away, but as soon as I can build one, I will put a blank one up for you. Now there is one more thing I want to show you, and I will show you that in just a second. And it's a bit bigger than these. Again, it's another wind-up toy, but it's more of a traditional old-fashioned with the big key in the back. So let me just jump out of Wario here. I'm going to load in another world and then show you what we have. Okay then guys, so here we are back again, and this is what I was talking about. When I said old-fashioned toy, I was talking like a tin toy. So this is more like a traditional tin toy robot that you might have found in the 30s and 40s, maybe even 50s. And very much in the style of the old either Japanese or American tin toys. It's got the big key on the back here. Again, it has everything that the others had, but this time it's a lot bigger. So we have stabilization on the front here. I'll turn that on first. We have the access panel here to get inside. So let's just jump inside him there. And of course, then underneath that was the key. Actually, we won't drive him straight away. We'll wind him up before we do that. So let's shut that down. So stabilization is on. This is the button to wind the key. Now the key, of course, much bigger. Got this sort of brassy sort of colour to it. I've gone with like the silver and gold and blue. A little bit Fallout colours, I think. A little bit. Yeah, they are kind of a little bit Fallout. Oh, yep. So even with the stabilisation, of course, he's very heavy. He's made of metal. He will lean, but I like it because it is very authentic to a wind-up toy. He needs a flat surface, otherwise he's going to fall over. Let's go again. Let's wind him up. This time we'll do it again. And see if he goes better in this direction. Now this time his stabilisation isn't on, so I'll have to quickly go and turn that on, otherwise he's going to fall over quicker. Let's turn it on. Oh, missed it. Missed it. Now his eyes flash as well, as you see. And that's based on sensors underneath. You can't see him from here. Up there somewhere. There are sensors which the feet trip, and that then makes the eyes flash. And he's got this lovely little pincer on one side and this gun on the other, which I've used the cup for the barrel of the gun there, which looks pretty cool, I think. It kind of looks like a sight where the cup handle is. So yeah, this is Old Tin, I'm calling him. Old Tin is a wind-up tin toy. Again, you can drive him the same as the others. Let's just jump in and demonstrate that then. Boom, there we go. Shut the door and let's back it off. So he's pretty cool looking. You can, like I say, move him around the same as the others. You've got the stabilization glitch, sort of sus glitch steering. So he works in exactly the same manner. I like the way that he wobbles. The antenna on the side are, of course, suspension arms, and they actually spin round on bearings, so it kind of generates this sort of spiraling look, which is quite cool. But yeah. And all in all, I think he turned out pretty well. So this was my series of wind-up toys. Oh, I hope you liked him. He was just about to fall over there. Oh, it's going, it's going. There we go. This is my series of wind-up toys, and I hope you liked them. Of course, they'll all be on the workshop for you to try out for yourself. Now, as I said earlier in the video, if you'd like to see me do something else as a wind-up toy, of course, let me know. I'll give it a go. Also, I'll put the Blankman on, as I said, so you can try for yourself and see if you want to come up with something of your own. Send it in to me or into the workshop, and I will show it on a future video if I like it. But yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, if you did enjoy this video, why not spank the hell out of that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe for more retro specs. Until next time, see you soon, and bye for now. Oh yeah, you gotta love the follow cam. Oh god, I feel dizzy.